Okay, video log. This is May 12th, 2025. And I had a really good call today with Megan, who is a millionaire mindset coach, entrepreneurial coach, business coach. And I've been consuming her content for a couple weeks now, and I've been really resonating with her because she talks about the spiritual aspect, the nervous system aspect, and moving into flow and self-care, and how that just adds to everything, leading you to your millionaire life. And I really needed to speak with her because, as I documented previously, I was getting ready to quit my day job and cash out the 401k. And her and I got on a call and we talked about it. About everything I kind of talked about yesterday in my video log. And what we kind of came to the conclusion of is I want to burn all the boats because that's what I did previously. It's with my ex and selling the house and quitting my other job to go for another job, and everything changed at once, and I could have no strings tethering me to my previous timeline. But that trauma, in a way, it's a trauma response to, oh, that's what I did before, so that's the only way that I will be successful. And one thing she said that really resonated with me is she's like, you deserve to feel safe in your next phase of life. So, does it make sense to cut off your only stream of income and cash out what you've worked so hard to save when you don't necessarily have to do that? Because my day job is very flexible. I make my own schedule. I work mostly from home. And so, and I'm like very valued at my work because like not a lot of people do what I do. And very few people have been doing it as long as I have. Which, selling windows and doors. Like, how many people do you know that sell window and door? Not very many. And we were talking through it, and she's like, you're limiting yourself by saying you can only do one or the other. And I'm limiting myself too when I say that my day job drains me and it does not allow me the energy to do all the pleasurable things in my life, my new business, and my job. And I was like, no, you're right, like I see what you're saying, which I did. I go, but like one of the pillars that I'm going to be coaching on, I'm going to be coaching on 8 pillars, and one is courage. And I was equating, how can I coach? I was asking, like, how can I coach other women on courage and to make changes in their life if I'm too scared to, like, quit my job? And she's like, well, is that true that means you don't have courage? She goes, one thing to think about is you are making a courageous decision because you're starting your own business. That is courageous. There's nothing that says you have to quit your other job to start the new job. Or the new, actually that brings up a good point. So you don't have to quit the other job to start the business. Which is true, because typically the only time you quit a job is to start a new job, right? And that's all I've ever done. Is like I've had like 2 jobs at a time here and there, but one was more like a fun little weekend, like working at a wine shop and having my day job, or like I think, like I did like deliveries at one point, like Target deliveries during like COVID or whatever, or after, because work was so slow. So I was like, oh, I could do both. It didn't last very long. I did not find that enjoyable at all. But like, I guess all I've ever known is you quit a job to start a new job. And maybe that's also what I was feeling into, was quitting a job to finding a new job. And that's not how it has to be. Like, I'm actually in a very blessed position, and my current job, honestly, probably couldn't be better suited for someone who's also going into entrepreneurial endeavors. And it's also like the two are not related at all. So there's no like conflict of interest or anything. One is life coaching women into a better timeline, and the other is in construction. So they're completely unrelated, very masculine and very feminine. And so that has me thinking like, okay, maybe I was being a little bit too crazy. Not crazy, but like, I've been living in extremes, but I've kind of been living in extremes my whole life, and that's what feels comfortable, but it doesn't exactly always feel good, and it's definitely not always safe. Like, being put under immense pressure to succeed would take away from the mission, and like, that would also kind of be a joy suck, I guess, if I'm getting there and I'm like, I'm not making it. So yeah. So the other thing is, she was talking about how valuable I am. She's like, well, one, your manager is willing to work with you, which means you are a valuable employee, because I did tell my manager that, you know, I've been wanting to do this and I needed to be honest with him. And the thing is like, he's working with me, like being open about my communication, which, you know, typically that, like, I wouldn't even recommend that, but I'm really good at listening and being intuitive and trusting certain people. Like, when I know I can trust someone, like, I will open up, even if it seems counterintuitive. And she's like, just the fact that he's willing to work with you, he's gonna meet up with you, like, you are valuable. And if you're living paycheck to paycheck right now, like, you should ask for more money. And I'm like, that's true, I should, because the honest to God's truth is I wouldn't have started down this path if there was something in the back of my head that said, like, you need to make more money because you're living paycheck to paycheck, and this is not sustainable. So that took me down the path of self-exploration, what I wanted to do, and, you know, coaching other women has kind of just developed. It's something I actually thought about doing when I was 27, and 10 years later, at 37, it's still something I want to do, but now I have more street cred. I've practically been through a divorce situation. I've gotten physically fit. I used to be 210 pounds at my heaviest. I was in my early 20s, and now I'm in the 140s. I look great. Never been more fit in my life at the age of 37. And getting a phone call. Spam. Can't believe it. Anyways, so yeah, I have the greatest self-love I've ever had, and I'm also intuitive enough to know when I need help and guidance myself. And that's the biggest thing, is like, you can't coach unless you also are willing to be coached. And if I can't reach out and pay for help with someone who's a lot further down the line than I am, then how would I expect other women to do the same for me? So I knew, and I followed my intuition and my gut that I was being drawn to Megan's content for a reason. And literally, the day I'm supposed to have a meeting before, the day before I'm supposed to have a meeting to talk about potentially an exit strategy for my current job into the unknown, Megan and I were communicating on Instagram, and all weekend I have been looking at her landing page, seeing like, maybe I should do a one-on-one session with her. Maybe I should sign up for her group calls. And it just so happened, I asked her a question and we got to talking. And she's great. She was voice messaging me some answers to a question. And then, I was like, hey, I know this is really last minute, but I have this meeting tomorrow. I'd really like to talk to you one-on-one. Can I pay for a one-on-one session? And her schedule was actually open today for a time period that worked, which was literally she had a 15-minute window where we could have a 1-hour call, and it just worked out. Yes, God. And she talked some sense into me. She helped me calm my nervous system, gave me some good recommendations, and tomorrow I have my meeting. So I am excited to see how that pans out. I have faith in myself, and I trust God with the process. So I am not going to be living in stress trying to build this business. I'm going to be living it in peace, building it. Yeah, baby. Yes, God.